Looks like we're live, Vinnie. Good morning to you for a
Are
Freaky
we?
Fractious Friday.
I was I was
Yeah,
I was going crazy here because somebody just sent me a thing that said that SeaTac is getting a new international nonstop flight this fall.
to Greenland.
Could be. I mean, I'm not sure. Let's see if it says. Uh, let's see. Getting a new international flight. They don't say where. They just
Or
say we'll
when.
figure it out when we get the plane.
We'll gas it up and see how far it'll go.
Gas it up. We'll point it toward the east and see what happens. Or west, I guess. They'll point it.
Well, Vladimir Putin in his speech yesterday said everyone knows that Trump's getting ready to take over Greenland, so why are you worried about me in Ukraine? You guys should be worried about him. And the people in Greenland said he's got a good point there. Who's going to help us when the J.D. Vance and his wife show up? We're not going to meet him at the airport. We're not going to show him to the hotel. They're going to have to find their way around Greenland.
And we're not going to permit their vehicles, so they're going to have to take a Uber, which is the Danish version of Uber.
Oba.
Uber.
Well, I hope JD's got that silly smile plastered all over his face because he's going to have to smile a lot for the camera during the reception he's about to get.
I don't even know why he's going, and I hope it's. He's certainly not going to get a. He's certainly not going to leave there saying "Ich ein Icelandia." What is it? "Ich eine Greenlander."
Ich bin ein Greenlander.
Yeah, he's not gonna. He's not gonna be doing that. That's for sure.
No, he's not a Greenlander and he's not welcome.
I think he's gonna find out what that reception was that Nixon got back in what was it 58
When he went to Venezuela.
when he went to Venezuela. He's gonna find out what that feels like. Where they had to get Nixon out of the country because they thought they were gonna kill him down there.
By the way, just for burgers, fries, and drinks, I'm wearing my Dick shirt.
Oh, there you go. Look at that.
Hello, Dix.
Hello, Dix. How are you? That is
So
it's more than a beautiful thing.
the Mariners win, the Mets lose, and the Giants win.
Yeah, well, the Mets, got a good pitching performance, but not so much a good hitting performance. Although,
Soto declared himself the greatest hitter of all time.
did he?
Yep.
Well, looking at some of the pitches that he laid off of yesterday, I don't know if he's that far off. He's pretty damn good. I mean, even though they didn't win, he still had a couple of hits, and um, I was watching one at bat. I forget who was pitching at him, but boy, he laid off for some sweet looking pitches, man. It turned out to be balls, but they were, there was that one pitch that always gets you, but then the third, the strikeout pitch, he chases one that's 3 feet out of the zone.
Finally, he offered, as they say in the business. He offered at one.
Yeah, I think he got impatient, and he said, "I guess this pitcher didn't hear that I declared myself the best pitcher, the best hitter in Major League Baseball."
I'm going to end the whole thing right here, but not the way you think.
But it's not just that. We're going to have to come back another day. I mean, I'm not worried about it. If you worry about anything besides an injury on opening day, you're in trouble. You
Well,
know,
from the comments I
not a
saw
day.
on Facebook about from Mariner fans, they were pretty worried before the game.
What were they worried about?
That alarming part of the baseball game where the guy with the most runs wins. You've heard of that part?
Oh yeah. Well, Mariner fans got about what should be. I mean, I thought a fairly good game for for the Mariners. I mean, they got late game offense. They got a great pitching performance out of Logan Gilbert. Um, yeah, they made a couple of mistakes here and there, but it's opening day.
And was
I'm
it
not going
a
to say it's early because I don't think it's early for the Mariners.
Is it,
If it
this is what early and late's going to look like.
well, the if it plays out like it has in previous years, um, they lose a playoff spot by one game or two games or three games. So
That's
that
true.
means that any three of those games that they lost early on in the season would have put them over the top. So I don't think they can. I don't think for this club every win is valuable. Well, every win is valuable for every club, but I think the Mariners in particular, every win is valuable because still don't know where they're going to get the offense.
But
Um,
five victories one way or the other are going to make the difference.
yeah, you need to have every piece click right for this ball club to be successful. You can't have a slumping Polanco. You certainly can't have a slumping Julio Rodriguez.
And you got to have steady performances from the pitching staff. That's your
Right. And you
strength.
have to get some production out of the bottom of your lineup. Those three guys, somebody's got to be a guy that can drive that can drive some runs in or get set up
Remember
on
last
base.
year, hitting and RBIs were a major problem.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, it hit it. I mean, I think they had the. I don't know. Well, I know the year before they had the most strikeouts in the major leagues. I don't know if it was that way last year. I forget. But this is a club that's prone to striking out. Now, the one good thing and one thing that you can look at and say is that the last half of the season or the last quarter of the season when Dan Wilson came in as manager and Edgar Martinez as hitting coach, they seemed to do a lot better.
They became aware.
Their record was better. They were they just I think that maybe uh, the previous manager's message had just gotten, as happens in baseball.
I can see you talking, but I can't hear what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. So
Giants did it with power and pitching yesterday. Helio Ramos, the outfielder, hit a home run. Wilmer Flores hit a three-run dinger to win the game, and that's how they do it. Now, if they're gonna play that kind of baseball all year long, they can stay even with the Dodgers. By the way, I have a Dodger story to tell you that's kind of funny.
okay,
I went shopping yesterday afternoon. I was on the road in Pasadena around 4 o'clock, and four fighter jets come flying low over Trader Joe's parking lot. And I go, "What the hell is going on now?" And I come home and they pass over town again, and then a third time. Meow. These are big, true fighter jets, F-18s. And I put it on Facebook. Fighter jets over Pasadena. What now? And a friend of mine said, "They're here for the Dodger game." Oh, sorry. It was the flyover for the Dodger opening day.
I've never been a big fan of the Jets over but I mean, people get a kick out of it. So,
I thought it was
boy,
J.D. Vance on his way to Greenland.
Otani hit a home run, and Tom Hanks even got excited.
Tom Hanks, who grew up in the Bay Area and should know better, but
Nope, Tom
he was
Hanks was there cheering for the Dodgers. Well, Oakland doesn't have a team anymore. I mean, he grew up in Oakland, right?
point taken. Yeah, East Bay kid.
Yeah, I mean, those fans are free agents now, aren't they?
Because he's always talking about listening to KEWB, KYA, and KFRC.
Yeah, those I mean, those fans are free agents. They can go wherever they want and cheer for whoever they want. They want to cheer for the Dodgers, the Giants. Although the A's fans, I know, it's probably the closest thing you see to Yankees and Mets in rivalry. Uh, you don't see a lot of A's fans that'll root for the Giants
Nope, it's
And I
not the
don't know
way it
about
is.
the other way around. I don't remember a lot of Giants. I mean, there will always seem to be that rivalry between the two.
Well, of course, the most storied meeting of the two was the World Series in 70, in
In
80, 80,
89.
80 89. So to have opening day and a 7.7 earthquake in Myanmar brought that all back to me, having
Yeah, I bet.
having survived the night at the stick when the shift hit the stand, as they say. I was at
Well,
the
it,
stick
it
when the shift hit the sand.
when the shift hit the sand, yes. I still have my Great Baseball Quake T-shirt and all the other various T-shirts that were being sold along Lombard Street. Remember that? You'd drive down Lombard Street and there'd be guys there hawking uh, T-shirts for the Quake.
Well, the power was off, so get yourself a T-shirt, stay warm.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, I think one of the sad things I saw yesterday, which I really felt, I don't know, is to see so many empty seats in St. Louis.
Are the Card fans angry with their team?
I mean, I don't think so. I don't, I mean, I don't remember hearing anything that would indicate that they were angry. I just,
But you know,
and that's supposed to be a baseball town.
that's what I was just going to say. It's a fan base that's huge. It's like 20 states listen to the Cardinal games on KMOX.
Yeah, I mean, that's when you talk about baseball. Cardinal fans are supposed to be. Uh, I mean, when you look at the numbers, the Cardinal fans are the most successful franchise in the National League,
More so than the Dodgers.
more so than the Dodgers.
Well, what the heck happened yesterday?
So I mean, they've won more championships and more divisions and all than any other team in the National League, I believe. I know it was like that a few years ago. Now maybe, but the Dodgers haven't won that much. I mean, it was a considerable number. Uh, but it was kind of sad to see that many open seats, and it didn't look like it was a rain delay or I mean a rain situation.
No, in fact, they had a pretty enthusiastic welcome for the guy who Alanco, who hit the home run that won the game. I can't. That's not his real name.
Where in St. Louis?
Yes,
Uh, who hit
they
the
were
home
gonna
runs?
they were gonna trade him in the offseason, and they didn't move him, and the fans love this guy, and he hit the home run yesterday that won the game.
Huh, I
Oh,
know that.
Alanco.
Yeah, I have to look at it. I haven't been following them that close to know. Especially the Cardinals. I mean, I don't. If we talk to Jan Shelby all the time, we used to follow the Cardinals. But once she kind of moved out of our lives, she became a mom and and everything. Who follows the Cardinals anymore?
Still likes the St. Louis Blues.
She loves the Cardinals, though, man. That's a woman that loves those Cardinals. Yeah, I'm trying to. Anyway, it was. I liked Tyler O'Neill too, who's now hit a home run in what is it, 7 consecutive or 6 consecutive opening days?
It's quite a record.
Yeah, I mean, 3 run shot in the third inning. The Orioles beat the Blue Jays, and who, by the way, hit 6 home runs yesterday. The Orioles did, and yeah, has a 3 for 3 day, and hits his sixth consecutive opening day home run. So
Wow,
congratulations to him.
kid's got a big
Uh,
bat.
Nice outing out of Paul Skeens yesterday. Uh,
Everybody's wondering what team he'll be on by the time the season ends.
well, that's part of the problem. with the Pirates and with the Mariners too. I mean, you look at these guys, and I wrote a piece yesterday on Facebook where I mean that's part of the problem is that these teams, the window to win is short because a lot of these players start to look to get out of here or Pittsburgh after a certain time.
I'm
I
playing to
think
yeah.
after.
I'm playing to win, and by the way, my bags are packed.
Yeah. Um, by the way, Ichiro, did you see his first pitch last night?
84 heater.
84 miles an hour, man. Yeah, he's a trip, Ichiro, man.
He's a keeper.
He's just a trip.
And no way he was going to go out in the field walking around in his slacks and brogans. He suited up.
Oh, Nolan Arondo is the guy you're thinking of.
Thank you.
Yes, Nolan Arondo, who hits the solo shot in a 5-3 Cardinals win. And again, it's
He says I can't get no respect.
the
Mike and Vinnie
beauty
don't
of
even know my
opening day
name.
is everybody. Yeah, everybody's even. Now there's people in the basement and there's people on top. So everybody's where you go from here.
It's up to you.
Will determine how your season is going to go. But the Mariners got 2 home runs last night in the 8th inning for a team that scratches for home runs,
That's a big
scratches
output.
for offense.
That's a good sign.
So you should beat a city that doesn't have you should beat a team that doesn't have a city name on its uniform.
or a home field.
But I mean, and it's funny because you're looking at that game last night, you're listening to it because I didn't buy the package yet. I'm listening to it, and going into the 7th inning, you're thinking to yourself, it's the same, same story, different year.
Same jive, different brand.
And listen, they are absolutely capable, the Mariners, of not winning another game until until June.
Now that's grim. That's a grim output.
But because I mean, the A's are here for 4, and you have the Tigers coming in. The Tigers were actually a playoff team.
Kind of weird for the Dodgers to open against the Tigers.
The Dodgers opened against the Tigers?
Yeah.
And the Dodgers beat them, right?
Correcto. By a 1 run.
Well, the problem with a team like the Tigers and the Mariners and these other teams that are in that lower rung, the Pirates, is that what was a playoff team last year, usually half the guys are gone off the team.
Yep. That's the kind of offseason
because
we
as
have.
soon as people on other clubs see that there's somebody good there, they go after it. I guess one of the saving graces with the Mariners is that you have, and in one way it sucks because they didn't go out and I think improve the hitting like they should have. They didn't go out and get a bat. And how long have the Mariners been looking for a bat? They're depending on Polanco to have a better year, that he's not truly what we saw last year, that Rodriguez will get past his the sophomore jinx.
His yips.
And, that we're going to see that Cal Raleigh will improve at the plate when he's standing up. I don't know if he could improve much when he's squatting, but they're hoping.
Well, that's what
that he gives them, uh, a solid catcher that will both handle a pitching staff correctly, a young pitching staff, but also give them some power.
Well, they gave him a deal, so maybe he'll be inspired.
They gave him a deal.
But
I
Vinny,
mean,
this is like the guys playing cards right now in Vegas, hoping that their hand gets better somehow. I'm staying with his hand. I sure hope it gets better.
well, it's interesting. If you're a Raleigh, do you think that do you take the 105 million, or do you hang on for another year and say, let's see what happens after this year,
Let's see if anybody here can play this game.
and you can have a good year. But I think if somebody offers me 105 million, I don't know that I could spend much more than that in my lifetime.
And you get a chance to work for another guy who was a catcher.
Yeah, and you get a chance to be with not only one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, but a quality human being, and I think a guy that's going to have a good managerial career. I like Dan Wilson. I like that he puts the game in motion.
Interesting that
I
the
like that
Mariners. Go ahead.
he has some nerve. He has some balls, and that I mean, I think he's. I mean, I'm a big fan of the guys just as a human being,
Well,
but I'm also a big fan of his as a player.
I
And
think
I
everybody
like
was.
catchers as managers because they have that unique perspective of watching the game as opposed to watching everybody's ass.
They see the whole thing, every pitch.
They see it all the time. And I think Lou and Dan, Dan was Pinella's guy here. And I'm sure that him and Pinella talked, and I don't know this for a fact, I'm just guessing, but I would think that Pinella and he talked um, enough. I haven't been down in the clubhouse to ask uh, Dan. I'm going to try to at some point here early in the season go down and interview him and and talk to him so that we can maybe play that interview back here. Uh, but you got what you needed last night. The Mariners did. They got a big pair of home runs in the eighth. They beat the A's, and they got the season off on a winning note.
And despite the fact that the A's don't have a city to play for and a weird home diamond in Sacramento, sack of tomatoes, the fact is they have always been a feisty team, and if they take advantage of this idea of being the underdog, they could turn it into something that might be very interesting.
Yeah, they're always a team. They're always a team that acts as a spoiler, aren't they?
They love to beat you, but
Yeah,
they
yeah.
don't
I
pull
mean,
it off every day.
one thing about the A's and whether it was under several managers that weren't named managers when they got to the team, but yet turned them into a very big us versus them kind of thing. And I mean, Bob Melvin was like that. I
Dick
mean, that guy
Williams,
squeezed more lemon juice out of that lemon than anybody could ever believe.
it's true.
Um,
Another catcher.
yeah, another catcher. Was it who was the other guy that? Oh, Art Howe
Yeah,
was another guy that he used that you and me against the world philosophy.
Art Howe is a very quiet, stoic guy,
Yeah, but
but a
but
leader.
he got his people to play for him.
Yeah, and he had a
Uh,
lot of talent go through there.
yeah, who was the? There's another guy I was thinking of.
Dick
Um,
Williams.
no, I mean I'm thinking more recent. Was it? Jackie Moore, who took
Uh,
over after Larusa, right?
I don't remember him.
They had been, I mean, they lost a bunch of players. after LaRusso left. Remember, they
Well,
lost Canseco, and they
that's
lost,
the
lost a ton of players.
that's the story of their lives. The A's, they lose them all.
And yet he had them playing tough for him for a year or two, 2 years, 3 years. So the A's have always had that history. And I'm glad that the Mariners picked up a win last night. Not that, again, opening day means so much that you have to win on opening day. But I think that considering the Mariners' circumstances and the way that they always seem to be 1 game or 2 games back, who knows? Maybe in September we're looking here saying, "Crap, thank God they won that opening night game because
That was it.
they're 1 game ahead in the standings with 1 to go."
Now, I don't know the minor leagues that well. Does Greenland have a team, and what league are they in?
Well, they're in the Ice League, and I
Oh,
believe
Iceland,
they have
Iceland, Iceland,
a league and a team.
Iceland, Greenland, Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, Denmark, and Iceland again. Iceland's got
Yeah,
2 teams,
Iceland gets two teams. Short season though.
and they only play 6 innings because the sun goes down or it won't go down, depending on how it feels that day.
Well, they play 6 innings they play 12 in the
In the
summer
summer
and
and
six
in the spring.
in the spring. And because September 15th, it gets dark at 4 o'clock. So literally before you drive to the game, it's dark.
So Harry M. Stevens got to get that beer and store it in a safe place, otherwise it'll just be frozen. You get a beer, but you
That's
can't
one
drink
thing that
it.
I've always wanted to do, and I've never done it. And good God, maybe this year
You want to sell
I'll do
beer?
it. What?
You want to sell beer?
No, no, no. I want to go to the midnight baseball game in Atlanta, Anchorage. Alaska. No, it's not Anchorage. It's up higher than that. But
Seward.
they have that game every year. Every year I say I'm going to go. I'm going to go. I mean, it's not that hard to get there from here.
It can be. It can be very hard to get there.
Well, yeah, if it doesn't get light.
Plus, you got to drive through Canada, the 51st state.
Well, yeah, I guess that
So
could be. Well,
that'll all
I
be
probably
contested
would.
territory.
I probably would.
Fly in.
Yeah, I think I'd fly for that one because it's not just going to Anchorage. I mean, I forget. Is it in Juneau?
That's up there.
Um, but
By the way, who plays in that game?
well, it used to be the Alaska Gold Panners, but I don't know if they're still a part of any league. I think it's a couple of independent teams. I mean, it has been in past years.
Are the Mounties still up there somewhere?
I don't think so. Let's see. It'll be the 120th Midnight Sun baseball game. Is played on June 20th, 2025 at Groudon Field in Fairbanks, Alaska. First pitch is at 10 p.m. And it is the Alaska Gold Panners.
Playing the Savannah Bananas.
Yep, it's the Alaska Gold Panners, and they will host the 120th game. It started in 1906.
The year of the big quake.
Gates open at 8 o'clock. I don't know, Michael. I think this is Yeah, I have. I've really have said many times that I want to go to this game. I mean, I think I used to say it when we were on KJR. Um, and I think that this is a game, June 20th, 2025.
You can say you're a
The
scout.
Why would I want to say that?
You get interesting seats, and you get to talk to the players afterwards.
Yeah, I would probably just try to get a press pass, but I would. General admission is $37.
It's an odd number, but
Well, probably for Casey Stengel, right?
I like it.
They're sold out in the red section and the silver sections.
It's got to be a gold section for Alaska.
I mean, you can buy general admission season tickets for $175. And they have
They use it.
that nice swag. They have the Happy Boy, which is I guess their mascot is called Happy Boy.
Because he found some gold. Is that what he's
Yeah,
happy
and they
about?
have a kazoo club. I like this, Michael.
I
I
wonder if they
think this is
practice.
something that
What about Pepper? No Pepper?
I didn't see a picture of the stadium. I would participate. I would go there with a bat and play Pepper in the stands if I had to. Yeah, I gotta figure this out. This might be something to go to this year because you do realize that you don't know how many more years you're going to be around.
They've been doing it every year since 1906, waiting for you.
Well, I know. That's why I'm saying it's probably time to go.
And take your woolly knickers.
They got merch. They got a lot of merch, man. A lot of cool merch. You can get team jerseys, a special jersey for the Midnight Sun game. You get a camouflage jersey. I would think that a camouflage jersey in Alaska would be white.
Depends on the season. Yeah, you're right. Depending on the day and the time.
I mean, doesn't that seem like
Look at me, I'm a polar bear. Look at me over here.
yeah. Love the team, love the town. The Alaska Gold Panthers of Fairbanks. All right, I got to
Well,
look into this.
they should challenge. There's got to be a team somewhere in Greenland. Challenge them to a friendly.
You think Greenland and Alaska ought to go at it?
I think they should be friends. I think they should be work on some diplomacy. We need it right now.
Well, we need something, that's for sure. Um, I also read a note yesterday where the NBA they're going to start a European league, like a solid.
B League.
Well, they say it's going to be that they're going to get a lot of good players up to go, and that the NBA is going to back it, and it's the first step in expansion to head over to Europe.
Does Paris, London, Berlin, Rome, they all get teams?
Madrid. I mean, Madrid's team, Real Madrid, has been one of the premier franchises, I believe, in Europe for.
Turkey had some franchises too, but now they're coming apart because they're fighting each other in the streets.
I
Takes a
saw. I was watching. I watched one of my guilty pleasures is the 90 Day Fiance.
I'm
I
sorry.
watched that show.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, well, we all have our things. Anyway, one of the um, one of the guys that was one of the fiancés. He was wanted to come over here. Was a guy named Bozo, and he was a professional basketball player. And
He's going to have to look for another assignment.
yeah, and this guy was a real clown.
Bozo.
Literally and figuratively, he was a real idiot. He had this woman who was, I mean, hot to trot. I mean, there was no doubt in my mind that, if Bozo would have brought this woman flowers, or done something as simple as and she was quite an attractive woman. I mean, it wasn't like she was a dog. You said, "Geez, she was a smart." Although I can't, I do wonder how smart she was if she was going out with this guy. But it
Don't you
was
just
it
don't you
was
get
interesting. So she got into a relationship and went all the way over to Turkey.
no point in
Uh,
going halfway?
and then he said, "Well, I'm not really interested in you."
Oh,
So she got rejected by Bozo.
the Turkish player, the Turkish power forward.
It was uh, it was one of the sadder moments of the year
Did
in
she have to
90
pay?
Day Fiance.
Did she have to pay her way home?
I'm not sure how it works with that show, Michael, because I see these people flying around the world, and I still to this day don't quite know what the arrangement is. Do they have to pay to go over and pick these people up? Do the people pay? How do they get money for this? Because they're not staying in crap hole hotels; they're staying in nice places.
Everything's a trade out.
I'm sure it is. I mean, my instincts tell me that it's all a trade out.
Yep.
If they get a certain amount of script they can spend on airline tickets, and a certain amount of script that they can spend on, on whatever. But it's all traded out. The production company trades it all out. Although I've noticed that they never put the name of the airline that they're flying on the show.
Hmm.
So what do I know? But anyway, yeah, it's a guilty pleasure. It's really lowest common denominator. Um, Reality television.
And it's really unscripted. Get in there and talk to her for a while.
I
Just
don't think
talk. I
it's
don't care what she says.
yeah, I don't think it's unscripted. I think that they are well aware of how they want these storylines to turn out. Although there's an interesting one going on this next Monday night, and I'm going to have to halt my move to actually watch this because there is this one couple that he is this dipshit from Michigan, and he's married to this very attractive woman from Panama.
Well,
But
we're gonna attack Panama. Did she know that?
yeah, I think she does know that. Actually, I think she's been signed on as an advisor,
Military advisor.
military advisor. But for whatever reason, we haven't done it yet. And but the boyfriend still doesn't want to touch her, or the husband now. This guy lives in Michigan, and he's got no hair, so he wears a hat all the time.
Like they do in Michigan.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's crazy. I don't even know why I watch it, but it's like a car. I've asked myself, Michael, several times in several ways, why do I watch this show?
What are you doing here?
What's the attraction? But
It's,
yet,
it's
Sunday night or Monday night, whichever night the one I like is on. I'm there in front of the TV with a veal palm sandwich and ready to watch whatever's going to happen.
maybe it's the human misery played out across the hopes and dreams
Could be.
of the
It could be.
fiancés.
And I wonder where they find the people. I mean,
Michigan,
some of these
Panama,
people,
Turkey.
yeah, some of these people really got to be desperate. They seem to have a lot of uh, Mid East guys that are trying to get over here.
Any way they can. Talk about
Any way they
desperation.
can, and believe you me, some of them it is the last resort. But so they have a resort that they all go to called the Last Resort, and it's supposed to go down for physical for a therapy, not physical therapy, but mental therapy and all this stuff. And this week is coming up the tell all.
Oh, here we go.
And so it's so Gino and Jasmine, who the name of this couple, is going. They're going to be on the tell-all, and the interesting thing is that Jasmine seems to be pregnant.
Oh, wonder how
But
that happened.
well, Michael, if I got to explain it to you,
Well,
uh,
with these people, I think you do.
yeah, you might have to. Anyway, well, she wanted to be in an open marriage. He didn't really want it, but finally she said, "Well, uh, because I guess he wasn't touching her for the past 9 months." Anyway, make a long story short, um, she agrees to the open marriage, and now she shows up pregnant to the show.
It's a wide open, not just open.
Yeah, it's a lot more open than he thought it was going to be,
Open all night.
and into the morning.
Yep, yep. Well, she can play for Greenland. I like her
Oh yeah,
style.
no, she play for God. This woman. The husband gave her $5,000 to
Signing bonus.
it was a signing bonus. Now she was supposed to get what was she supposed she's supposed to buy a wedding dress
A dowry.
with the $5,000. And she wound up going to a doctor and getting an ass lift.
A total or half.
It'd be screwed up if you had one up and one down.
Still, you got to go with your budget.
You got to get them things even. I think that's in the contract, isn't it?
Probably in the signing bonus. Yeah.
Yeah, we can't make anything. We can't guarantee anything's going to happen.
Let's
But
see. Let's see how that. Let's see how the cheek job came out
lie
before
on
we
your
see it.
stomach and let's see what we can do.
Let's see what we got.
Let's see what we got here. Anyway, yeah. So she went instead of spending the money on a wedding dress, she went and got her ass done. So, and now she shows up to this tell-all, and she walks in the room and she's knocked up.
That's what happens when you get your cheeks rotated.
Yeah, I guess so, Michael. Again, to me, it's just it's just one of these things that you look at it and you go, how could these people be this screwed up?
She said, if I'd have played my cards right, I could have had the guy from Turkey, but look at me now.
Well, the guy from Turkey is pretty funny.
Those are-
There's one guy from Turkey I mean, I think he's what's his name, Sauver, and Sauver's actually pretty funny because he's a handsome dude and he's not afraid to let everybody know it.
He's a realist.
Yeah, and he's with this woman from L.A. who I don't know how you could explain it.
But here's the thing: don't give her 5,000. Just don't do it.
Don't give her $5,000. Well, strangely enough, she doesn't need her ass lifted.
Okay.
But going back to the other couple for a second, she's got 2 kids that she's left in Panama while all of this is going on.
In the war zone.
I mean, maybe they're going to have to enlist to defend the country.
Better have some coffee here. I can't tell if we're on our way to Greenland or to Panama.
You can't tell the players without a scorecard. Yeah, it's one of the things I'm not proud of in my life, Michael. I have to if I'm coming clean here, my roommate's wife got me hooked on this.
Oh dear.
When I got here, I didn't know what this show was 5 years ago. And she got me hooked on. She said, "Oh, I bet you'll like this. Come watch it with us one Sunday night." So I went up and I watched it. And I was in shock. I mean, I used to think that my kid, watches a lot of reality shows, I didn't think that you could find somebody who was worse than some of the people that they had on these. It was more of a sorry case.
But do you think JD Vance would come back from Greenland if it's a scripted show? I think they're going to leave him there, or they're going to bring him back? He's a pretty good catch.
What would
He's
you
got
do if you were Trump?
Oh, I'd leave him there. In fact, I don't think I'd let the plane land. It would just sort of disappear.
Why would you leave him there? Because that would give you less people to blame things on.
Well, you got Leon. He can take the blame.
Yeah, but Leon's is a precarious situation because Leon could decide he doesn't want to write checks to you anymore.
It's true. He's the source of all the gift giving. Leon, give that race in Wisconsin another $1 million.
Yeah, that's very true. It's very true that you could slide into that. Now, did you see that a Democrat won in a district? I believe it was in New York. Was it or Florida?
Florida.
Good
I'm
job.
sure they decided to keep the gal they were going to send to the United Nations. They took that job away from her and said, "You're staying in the House."
Right, Stefanik.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not going anywhere, but
Not even Greenland.
I'm sure she'll get to Greenland. She got to where did she go last year? She went somewhere interesting last year. I guess it was Iceland or
Or did she go to
something
Bimini?
around there. Or what's the other place where they seem to be wanting to go? Iran?
Panama.
No, it was over on that side.
Oh, Syria. Let her go to Syria.
I'm okay with that. Is that one of our new friendly countries, Syria?
No, but yes.
I mean, to think that we're trying to be friendly with Syria and we can't get along with Canada.
Nope. Please understand, this is the way it is.
Kind of sad.
Well, there's no Mounties in Vancouver anymore, so that's the problem with baseball.
The Mounties are still there, aren't they?
I don't think they have a team.
Or did they close that team down?
Yeah, I think so. There's no Pacific Coast League in Canada anymore. It's a shame.
I mean, I'll have to check. I don't know if they pulled out the Belling. I mean, is that whole summer A League gone?
That I don't know.
There was a summer A League that had like teams in Bend,
Santa Rosa Crushers.
yeah, Bellingham, you know, up and down the West Coast. Grays Harbor, I think, had one for a while.
Wenatchee had a team.
They did. Oh, yeah, the Apple Sox, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it's an independent league. Maybe it's like the Northwest Independent League or something like that.
And when you go to the town, you live with someone. You live with the fan base. The fans take you in and give you a room and board.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why did you use that phrase fan base?
I'm not certain I know why I use it. You
Um,
find it
um,
offensive?
I just find
Yep. By asking that question, you froze.
What was the question?
coaches are all calls it a fan base, and I'm just having trouble grasping where did we go from fans to
To the
fan
fan base.
base?
That's a good question. I don't know, Vinny.
Yeah, I'll have to research that because I really don't like it. I like fans. I like just it's a simple, it's like a simple four-letter word. It sums everything up. It's short for fanatic. It perfectly describes
And
a
you either
person
are
who is just a little over the top.
one or you aren't.
Right.
There's a fan
Am
base.
I
There's a
in the
fan
fan
base.
base? Well, when was the meeting?
There's a fan
Do
base
I
in
have to
St.
pay
Louis,
to get
and
into the fan base?
in St. Louis, yeah, you do. That's why the fan base didn't show up.
Is that thing at the bottom of the Statue of Liberty that the statue is bolted onto? Is that a fan base or is that a Liberty base?
That is a there's another word for it. Damn.
Pedestal?
Close enough.
A fan pedestal? That doesn't sound right. Although all of these people put the players on a pedal. I don't get fan base. It's like you know me. I mean, every once in a while, a phrase comes along that the young
Rub,
people think that they've either invented or have improved upon.
it rubs you
The
the wrong
last one I
way.
remember is the walk-off home run. First of all,
It's a
nobody
runoff.
walks it off; you
Right.
run it off.
True.
And it's not something that you can hold in a cup, or uh, it's like a walk-off Sunday. They used to have those things at the county fairs, the walk-off Sunday.
Oh yeah.
And it would be like an ice cream cone, but it would have the syrup and nuts and the goo and whatever else they could throw on there. A banana sometimes for a walk-off banana split.
And put wheels on it because it's to go.
Yeah. And you'd get one at the county fair, walking down the street with it until you hit somebody and smushed it into their chest, and then there'd be a big fight.
At the county fair, everybody talking about it the next day.
Yeah, at the county fair it was a major ice cream collision.
It's a thing among the members of the fan base.
Then other members of the fan base would come on. So I don't like it. So I've registered now my discontent with that phase.
Well, let's not use
With
that
that
phrase. I'll make an effort not to use it again.
Nah, you can use it, Michael. I don't care.
Hey,
Who cares?
Una,
Never mind, I don't care.
Una.
Only there's very few people in the world can do 10 minutes on a phrase and just tell you they don't care.
After all that,
I
I
get
don't
that
care.
from watching Professor Erwin Corey when I was young.
Oh boy, do I miss him.
That was a guy. That was a guy, man.
Until you have lunch with him, you don't know what fun at Enrico's is all about.
You just don't know what precipitous confusion is.
The world's foremost authority.
Yeah, I always thought that'd be interesting for him and the amazing Randy to sit down and have a conversation.
Except the amazing Randy was not a funny man. Different.
No, but that's the point. Is amazing Randy was so opposite, but yet they both had
Vince.
their kind of quacky.
Oh yes.
You
Cracking
know,
point of view.
I think one of the best radio programs, individual radio programs I ever listened to in my life was one year WNEW. I think it was 72, actually. I think it was the year of Watergate. Um, Brought in Professor Erwin Corey to do the election results. And
Believe me, you don't know who won and you don't know how they won.
I don't think he had much of a clue of what was going on, but it was funny to listen to. Was talking about his graphs and his charts and his this one against this graph, and that can't be the unintended philosophization of Richard Nixon.
Hey Vinny, what are you driving?
Oh, Mikey, you wouldn't believe what I'm driving. I am driving a Toyota Tundra.
Get yourself a truck.
Big truck, yes. Toyota Tundra SR5, which has the big 343 horsepower engine, V6, not a V8.
Wow.
343 horsepower out of a V6, and it has some drawbacks, but overall, it's very torquey, and it develops a lot of its torque at the low end, so that means it's good for pulling stuff like tree stumps and things like that. So it's actually kind of a work truck. I don't know how pleasurable it is to drive on a long trip on the road. I'm going to try to do that this weekend if I can at some point. But it's not. There's a lot of drawbacks to the truck, but there's also a lot of really good stuff about it that that you like, especially if you're a Toyota fan.
So you're going to talk about it at 11 o'clock tomorrow?
11 o'clock tomorrow, we are going to talk about. We're going to have Paul Eisenstein join us from Headlight News, and this guy Paul is a whiz at breaking down the tariffs and how they're going to affect you, and where and how much you'll be paying more, and what you can do to not pay anymore, and how far reach. I mean, this is going to put a kibosh
on the whole industry,
the economy, not just the auto industry, but all of these people that work around the auto industry.
And all the industries that need to buy new trucks to maintain their business.
Yeah, it's not, and it's something. It's not a quick fix. This is something you're going to say, well, on July 1st, 2026, all will be well.
It won't.
It won't. This is going to go on for years. This is going to be ruinous. I don't know that the three big car companies will survive this. I think that you might find that by 2027, there are only two big American car companies.
So you're saying adios to Chrysler?
It looks like it, and I don't think the appetite will be there to save them. I think somebody will buy Jeep, and some of the other stuff may be bought out, but I just don't think that, especially with electric cars. Electric cars aren't that hard to build.
And we just don't need that many choices.
Yeah, you can, you can build a decent electric car in a much smaller plant. with a lot less people. So I know the president says that this will be okay and go to your homes and don't worry and just turn on the cable TV to Fox and sit there and watch it. We'll let you know what's going on. But while
Speaking
you're
of the
watching
president,
Fox, your neighbors that work in the automobile industry are
what's
going to
going
be
on?
knocking on your door for food.
I saw a very depressing show last night called The Rise of the Nazis. And the narrator made the point with all the historians that were talking about Hitler's rise that he wouldn't listen to authority, he wouldn't listen to experts,
Hey.
he wouldn't take advice from his generals, he wouldn't do what was right every time, he would always choose what was wrong and defend it by saying that it was his choice anyway. And they said that he was never going to be happy, never going to be satisfied until he destroyed himself and took Germany with him. Now, who does that remind you of?
Well, yeah. Listen, I've watched enough of those shows and documentaries and so on and so forth to look at this and say this is what we're
History.
seeing here
History repeats.
is a stone repeat of what you are seeing and of what you've seen before in Germany and
Yep.
in many fascists. There was a woman on. Um, she's a historian, and I was watching her day before yesterday, and she was talking about that what we're seeing going on in the United States is almost exactly what
Exactly.
was going on in Germany. Inflation, higher
Yep.
prices, uh,
Make Germany
a lot
tough
of
again.
discontent.
Yep. Make Germany great again.
Well, you know, many people will say Germany is great now, but it took them 40 years and a lot of dead people to get it there.
They learned the hard way.
They're supposed to be good at I don't know. I just fear for
Everything.
fear for everything, Michael. When you can't trust simple things that the government is trying to get you to do, when you can't trust that the government is going to perform.
They just decide that they won't one day.
When one day they can just say, "Well, we're going to shut this thing down for a week," or "We're going to make the tax these people," or "We're going to do this," or "We're going to do that." It doesn't see instead of applying our best and brightest minds
Nope, not anymore.
to how we do things. Certainly not. Now it's basically think of ways to keep it secret. Think of ways to keep to avoid the problems. This
And
immigration thing should have been fixed years ago.
put somebody incompetent in charge.
And people forget that Trump blocked it. Trump,
So it would remain an issue during the election.
right. So he would have something to crow about during the election. And you got what you wanted at a cost of millions and millions and millions of dollars more to the U.S. taxpayer if they would have just gone out and closed the loopholes in the law back a year ago and said we can't, we have to come up with a solid program here.
Not interesting.
But
Vinny, I'll see you on Monday. Have a great show tomorrow at 11 o'clock.
Mikey, you too. Don't forget to tune in to Drive Time tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. Have a good weekend. I don't know if we're going to have a show Monday.
Because you're moving.
I'm waiting to hear if I'm moving. Now, if I can figure out a way to make it happen, I'll talk to you over the weekend. But we'll certainly be back on Wednesday.
See you then.
So one way or the other, we'll hook up with you next week. But thank you for listening, and we will see you next week if the Lord's willing and the creek don't rise. Mikey, as they always say, peace, love, Manischewitz, baby.
What a wine. Get your Get your Turkish power forward over here to pour it for you.
Poncho.
See
See
you,
you,
Vinnie.
Michael.